All right, guys. So you guys may recognize this map. Nate from WASD20 and Sellsword Maps made this for me back, oh gosh, it's been probably a year ago. And what this was is my homebrew world, which you'll see in this area. That's Pinerun. That's where the game that I was running for him and some other players started. And in that campaign, we probably played, oh gosh, I don't even know how many sessions, maybe 12, I don't know, 10 sessions maybe. And so they played here. They moved up to here, moved over to Sandstrom, traveled down here and back around, and they traveled down to Windham. So basically around these mountains. Okay, that was where the whole campaign was taking place. And we didn't finish the campaign, but I love the work he did for it. And this is a small portion of my world. In fact, the Orcs Peninsula, which is south of all that, Elda, right there, is the biggest city. It's a merchant's paradise. And down here is where my Orcs Peninsula game was going to take place. We played one session. Dawn Forgecast was in it. SR2 Joker, a couple other people. But yeah, so we played some there. I think his name's Alan Holloway, and oh gosh, I can't think of the other guy's name. But anyways, we played down in here, and the idea was that they were traveling to get water towards these mountains, and or to search for water because they were thirsty, and the army needed to figure out where it was. But yeah, so this, like I said, is a very small portion of my world. Now, the Orcs Peninsula gets its name based on its shape and the fact that there are tons of orcs down here. There's dragons down here. There's savage barbarian tribes. There's all sorts of things like that. And the thing about this is it doesn't get any better if you cross the ocean over here. In fact, it gets worse. It's pretty much all orcs and other things. If you go north, you start to get into a little bit more normal stuff, more humans, dwarves, elves, and in fact, Browerhans is an above ground hill dwarf colony. Pinerun is mostly humans. Sandstrom is run by elves, and that's a huge part of this part of the world. In fact, those three in particular are very important in this part of the world. If you go west, it starts, especially south again, it starts to get really bad. The Anvil Ringers, you see these mountains down here? The Anvil Ringers are from just southwest of here, across the Serpent Sands, and they're like over here. That's where that was going to take place. If you go north of that, up here is where my Iron Forest is located. And then if you go east, there's some stuff. If you go west, that's where one of my two campaigns is taking place. This continent is sort of shaped, if you're looking at it, sort of shaped like an H, like a diagonal H, to give you a rough idea. And this down here is a huge, this would be like the bottom right side of the H, is huge desert. And then up here, which would be the top left side of the H shape, haven't fleshed a lot of that out actually yet. And then what would be back here, which would be the bottom left side of the H roughly, I've got a lot of swamps, and you deal with things like lycanthropy, you deal with hags, bullywugs like crazy. In fact, this continent over in here by Pinerun has some bullywugs, I believe. Yes. No, I don't think it did. I'll have to revisit that, look at my old notes. I don't think this actually does have a lot of bullywugs, actually. But you have ogres and orcs and goblins from these mountains. Yeah. Anyways, but there's tons of bullywugs in the game I'm running now. There's werewolves, hags, goblins, ogres, I don't think they've ran across any orcs in that game. But yeah. Then, just north of this continent is the continent where my 8 Pillars of Death campaign is taking place. And that one's just shaped like a giant oval for the most part. And that has a lot of bullywugs for sure. It has all sorts of things on that continent. So anyways, I plan on fleshing all this stuff out for you guys. I will do a PDF. I've already got it in the works. I've got a lot of work done on it. In fact, the way I plan on doing it is I'm going to be doing my first one just on this region. And it's called the Orcs Arrow Peninsula. It goes all the way up to about Elda. You'll have Elda's information in it and down pretty much. So Pirates Bay, the City of the Ancients, the Eastern Dwarven Territories, the Western Dwarven Territories, the Orcs Arrow Peninsula. All that is going to be covered in the Orcs Arrow Peninsula PDF that I've been working on for a while. I have plans to do others for the different regions, and I don't know if I'm going to do them as a pay what you want, but you're going to hear in videos my thoughts on my world. I'm going to give you guys little snippets of information that you can take and port over to your games. And if you end up wanting to hear more or know more, you can ask questions, or you can always go and get those PDFs once I release them. I'm hoping, again, I'm trying to use the same deadline that I had before. I'm hoping that I will have those done by about Thanksgiving. That is my goal, to at least have this first PDF done. So with that, I'm going to wrap this video up there. I hope this was at least interesting. And you better believe that with the release of PDFs, I will go ahead and do a one-shot or possibly short mini campaigns. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will talk to you guys next time. Thank you very much.